Do any of your family members or yourself have diabetes? I have diabetes. We can control it and live a long, prosperous life. Let me point out some of the difficult areas in our society. About 371 million people have diabetes, according to CBS News. About 50% of them are not aware that they have diabetes, according to health and wellness surveys. I think we should all be aware of the different types of diabetes, and I did some research I would like to share with y'all today. We're going to talk today a little bit about prediabetes, type 1, type 2, and gestational. Prediabetes, we get it before we develop type 2, according to the American Diabetes Association. Levels are higher than normal, so that is why we develop prediabetes. American Diabetes Association says that prediabetes has long-term damage to our organs, such as our heart, our lungs, our liver, etc. There are some ways that we can prevent type 2 diabetes by controlling our sugar level intake, exercising, or many other ways. Now, type 1 is usually in children or in young adults, previously known as juvenile diabetes, according to the article that was brought by the American Diabetes Association. Our body does not produce insulin or enough insulin. Only 5% of people have this type, according to the medical news today. We can control our sugars by insulin or by pills such as metformin, according to the American Diabetes Association. The next type is type 2. Type 2 is the more common form, according to the medical news today. This is the more common in aged people. Our body does not make enough insulin, or the cells ignore the insulin, such as being too obese, or about 10% of the people have this form, according to the CBS News. Controlled by diet, exercise, or by many different forms of pills that we can take, but all of this is prescribed by our doctor. Lastly is gestational diabetes, which at 24 weeks of pregnancy, people develop this form, according to the American Diabetes Association. This diagnostic does mean that you have it or will have it after you give birth to your baby, but follow your doctor's orders for your blood sugar in order to control it. You and your baby will be healthy if they are followed, and only if they are followed. This form can be controlled by exercise, diet, and controlling our sugar intake. Now, those are the 4 types of diabetes that we can get in the world today. There are the 4 different types that we talked about today are the type 1, type 2, gestational, and prediabetes. All 4 of these affect many people in the world today, and half of them do not even know that they have prediabetes, type 1 diabetes, type 2, or gestational diabetes. So we get it. Some are inherited by our genes, some aren't. So it just depends on which type you have. In order to know what type you have to go to the doctor that way the doctor can tell you which type you have. It is very important that you follow the rules and regulations of your doctor in order to get this type of disease under control and to try to prevent it, to live a long, prosperous life, and to have many different types that, like I said, many people do not know, do not care to know, or don't have medical insurance to control it. A lot of people say, well, it's not really a big disease. I don't need it. I don't have to go. But it will. You will have complications. Some people do die from complications to diabetes. Other people just don't really care about their illness. It is very important that you go into your doctor on a regular basis to try to solve the problem, to try to fix the problem, but there's some forms that you will not get rid of at all. So, do you want to be that person that knows, or do you want to be that person that doesn't know? The choice is yours.